this can't be the last time that I see you.
So, I know this is what the mattresses look like inside. So we're getting new mattresses. So there's a layer of this. We've already taken the rubber out. A big layer of foam.
Hold back honest words, they just hold you down. It can't be true.
Harbour. Do. Sorry. That shows my age, doesn't it? It's not concrete. Who knew? It's like rubber. It's like that stuff that you put on a kid's playground. Look at that. Was it an early attempt at cattle mattresses, or was it like, did they put it underneath mattresses? Did they put it underneath? I don't know. I might give Sav a ring and ask him. I haven't actually explained what we're doing. Oh, no, bang.
No, that door.
We're putting new mattresses in there, so we're pulling the old ones out. They will be, how old? 20 years old? My shed presumes the shed was built in 1994 because planning permission went in 1993. So them mattresses are old. They're as old as my brother. 1991. And he's old. He's got grey hair and everything. So you might be wondering why we're only taking this length out here. Because it had little holes in. And as soon as... sorry, I've got... I'm actually I'm poorly. I am poorly. I've been doing too much. I've got flu. I've caught flu. Lurgy. So they had, sorry, that was totally off on a tangent. Look how rough I am. Oh my God, look half dead. I look my age today. Ugh. Do it a bit lower, you won't see the bags under my eyes because the shadow covers it. I know all the tricks, me, I know all the tricks. Right, stop it now, stop it. My camera roll's full of me doing this. So there was little holes. It started off just a worn bit and then a little bit of thread came through. And then the cows had licked the thread and then it became a bigger hole and a bigger hole and a bigger hole until we had them out to repair the holes. And all they did was put plastic strip around it and tech screw it to the floor, to the concrete. So the repairs did not hold up very well. Anyway, the new mattresses, they won't be here yet. We're not putting them in. We'll put them in when we kit the big shed out, but the cows have got to come in. And they were just making a shitty mess and it was just getting worse and worse. So what we've done just on this stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubicles, we've just taken it out completely and we'll just put straw down for the cows to lay on. Yes, it's going to be a pain. Yes, it's going to be a mess. Yes, the straw will probably go down the slats, but hey ho. Or maybe even shavings. Cows, we've had all summer to do this. I'm not shouting at you, I'm shouting at him. We've had all summer to do this. We leave it to the day that I've got lurgy and the cows are coming in. What's the crack? Oh my God, I'm dying. Right. File, tell me off. Who can guess what they are? Stick it in the comments. I feel like Ollie. That's what he does. Quiz question of the day. What are these? Will Roy tell me off? Yes, Roy will tell me off. Do I care? Hell no. Last thing to move and then the cows coming in. We're on it. We are on it. Second to last thing to move, because this has got to move. It's well in the way. Come on, guys, out you go.
Talk of other things, move back the carpet, hide the pain, hold back our fears from entering. We shut the curtains every day.
We have a problem. So we've had this problem, we've known about it for quite some time, and I forgot to turn this trough off. So basically, they stick their head through here and they lap the trough over just for crack. Like, they've got a big drinking trough over there. They just love messing around with the water, and they've made a swimming pool. So all I need to do is to tie this up. Stay there. Like, literally really simple. So now when they lap over, it doesn't fill back up. Eventually the trough will be empty and there's no more puddles, which is just... I'm sticking this back on top, leaving the string out to remind me that it is tied up, and sticking this back in because they are like hen's teeth. And when you lose them, you can never find them again. So we haven't fed the cows this morning. And as you can see, they're all stood at the gate waiting. So hopefully it'll be a really easy bringing in session. So I normally apologise for going into too much detail on a farm, but try and keep it happy and fun. So years ago, before we had the farm, the land next door here, we used to have to bring the cows in and we'd have to get them all out the gate and we'd have to stand them on the lane. And we were relying as well on Holdsey, which is Nicholson and Holdsworth, the livestock haulier. We were relying on him to take them home. So there was no option but to make them come out of the field, and that added a certain amount of pressure. So going and trying to get the cows to come off the field, everyone to behave, to stand on the lane, to take half of them away, for him then to come back 20 minutes later and take the rest of them away because there was obviously so many of them. It was all a little bit stressful. So bringing livestock in and moving livestock for me always had a certain amount of anxiety with it. And this continued until we got this handling system, because before this handling system got put in, we were still very much ranching about and shoving them into, before this was a temporary handling system. And then before that, there was like a tiny little kind of gated area with an old crushing that Tom used to use for jerseys. But obviously, they were a different kettle of fish to us. They were a lot more amenable, I think, to being moved and done anything with, and a lot more used to human contact as well, because obviously they were dairy cows and they were going through the parlour twice a day. So when we moved here, the anxiety around moving livestock very much continued for me. Roy's probably never suffered with it. He wouldn't mind at all. And I know a lot of the lads think, oh yeah, yeehaw, this is amazing. And they love the whole like camaraderie of moving stock, and it's all, you know. For me, it was always pretty terrifying. Then we got this handling system and things became a lot easier. Gates are my best friend. Even down to TB testing and things now is a piece of piddle. Yes, it's still stressful because you're moving all the stock through one place in one day. But this year, 2 days' time, will hopefully be a lot easier. We've got less than half the amount of cows and calves on that we usually have. And all these heifers that are stood in front of me now, all of the dairy bullocks that we've got on, what is that? They're all the same size, which when you're moving cattle through a system is a massive advantage to them being tiny little calves, huge big cows, because you'd end up having Chaz the bull ramming up into a cow, which then rammed up into a calf, and then the calf got stuck against the gate, and the whole thing was just really ridiculous. So this time, everything's very much a similar size, and they're all in very specific groups as well for being fed up to be sold. So hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, there's some over there, it's going to be a lot easier this time. So I'm not so much dreading it as usual. It's times like this I really wish I had, I really wish I had a straw spreader. I do have one. It's times like this I really wish a straw spreader was used more and we had it on.
You could call me a dreamer, trapped in your world forever. Throw away the key.
So those of you who have been here quite a long time will completely remember how we deal with this shed. Cows and calves are coming in here. The only reason they're not going in the cubicle shed is because the calves are too small for the cubicles. So what would happen is if they would sit too far forwards, they would shit on the ledge, they'd just make a mess. And as well, they're wide for the calves so they can turn around and shit backwards, which just doesn't help. So we straw all of the back of here, we leave this front clear and we scrape that every day. We also scrape down here every day. Over there is the letterbox, envelope, whatever you want to call it. Long-standing joke now. And everything gets swept out there. So obviously the cows stand at the front eating. This is where they poo. So they stand there a lot of the time eating. So they'll obviously poo a lot in here. So it just, with that ledge being there, it just gives us a chance to keep it clear. We've just mucked that out completely. Those heifers there, they will be split up into bigger and smaller so that we can manage them better with feed and also bullying. We like to make sure that everybody's in an appropriate group for the size, otherwise things get pushed out. They will be coming into here. So we've bedded it a little bit differently. Last time we bedded all of this side here up to the gate. So all of that there was bedded. And this side we've decided, I'm tired, sorry. This time we have decided to bed the far end of the building and just keep this clear. And it also means that we can put the manger there, the IE, very cheap, crappy feed manger. We can put that there and it means we can drive in and not worry about driving on the bed when we're feeding them. So that's always helpful. So Roy's just gone to get silage. The heifers are stood in here waiting to be sorted. And we'll also take those dairy bullocks out that had jumped in. If you remember, we had a couple that had got mixed in there. I'm closing the cubicle shed up and making sure that I've picked up crowbars, grinders, whatever. So obviously the cows that are coming into here are on their way to being sold. So we'll be transitioning pretty shortly, I'd say, over to the jerseys. We want to be milking by March at the latest. So obviously things are going to have to go pretty swiftly. But as it stands, we've got loads of silage left. We've got the room, we've got the cubicles, we've got the bedding. There's no point in us farming nothing. And Roy would go crazy if he was doing nothing as well. And obviously, what would I share with you on a video? I'm joking, that really wouldn't matter. But like, do you know what I mean? We like to be active, we like to be doing stuff. So there would be no point. I have a sneaky suspicion that this stuff here is not going to fare very well. Even with straw on top. It's like a funny rubber compound. Honestly, don't know what it is. If any of you know, please do get in touch somehow on anything. Text me, email me, whatever. But for the short term, we're going to be putting new cubicles in there as soon as these guys have gone. So it would be senseless to do anything now. And to be fair, when them mats were in, they were like, I couldn't even show you on YouTube, it's like gross. They were like tearing bits off, and you'd go out in the morning and there'd be a big piece of flappy rubber and it was shit everywhere. It was just terrible. So yeah, it was best that they were out. So a lot of you will have already seen this, but I'll show you again just in case. We have this feed passage, which we made bigger. The stanchion used to be there, can you see? Came down. It's a wide feed passage. It wasn't wide enough to get a tractor down, which wasn't handy for us, and you definitely couldn't turn a bobcat. You just kind of had to fork everything into the middle and then push it up by hand. Just as machinery's got bigger over the years, it just didn't work for us. So anyway, we've narrowed it down so that it's a trough and we can feed out with the Keenan. Every day we'll roll on in and we'll come down here. This is just all from storage during summer, but it will pretty swiftly clear out, and you'll see on the floor we scrape down these slats here. So these are the concrete slats that these are reinforced because we drive over them with the Keenan. They're a lot wider, but they're a lot stronger. And then through here, there's these guys here, and you can't really see how deep it is It's probably, I would think, over here maybe 6 foot deep. It's not a massive capacity, our tank, and we do need to empty it quite regularly in winter. Luckily, the land down there is pretty free draining and we can get on it all the time. And until we've got the money to put up another like slurry storage solution, like a tower or a lagoon or whatever we decide to go with, preferably a tower, but you know, they're bloody expensive, let's be honest. We'll just have to make do. And then what we're going to do when the big shed's getting sorted, we'll pipe this slurry here over to the other shed and it'll get put up into a tower, into a lagoon, and you know, through a separator, that kind of thing. I have closed these red gates here so that when the cows run into the yard, there's nowhere they can go. They are kind of funneled into the shed that we want them into, which is very handy. Only really works for that shed. Rest of the barricade is yokel spec, obviously. And we're going to bring them down the lane. Now that might look silly considering the stud at the gate there, but what we want is we want them to run to that gate in the corner there, all the way down this lane and into there. Now we do this because it's a bit of a funny gate, that it's got a bit of a jut out, and you always end up with a calf on the other side of the fence going crackers. So from experience for the last couple of years, bringing cows, even sheep and things as well, we like to bring them down the lane. As soon as I shout, to be fair, they will come running, so it's not an issue that way. Get them out onto the lane. I'll just go and close this gate. So I started shouting. Oh my God. They're chasing him. This is too funny. So Rose was shouting him and then they'll all run over to him and then he'll come out of the gate. So I just walk backwards down here. Give him enough room to come out and have a bit of a gallivant around on the lane. Obviously it had to go slightly wrong. The cows have decided to take themselves back off down the lane before everyone's out of the field. There's a slow coach we're waiting for. Can you see it behind Roy? Been told it. The cows are taking themselves in. So much for that. They didn't even need our intervention. They just brought themselves into the shed. Look at that. Well-trained animals. Just doing a knot. So I'll just wait for that cow to come that Roy had. 20 minutes later. So I'm just sat making this video and it has got long again. Now, I know you guys do not want to watch any more of my face, and definitely not for more than 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave it there and I'll pick it up again next time, where we bring a second lot of cows in and we bring the sheep in, weigh a load of lambs and take them off to the collection centre. And actually I have got back what they weighed, the grades and what they were worth as well, so I'll put that in the next video. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you, I really do. It still amazes me, beyond amazed, that actually anyone can sit through any of this, but do you know what, I enjoy making them, and if you enjoy watching them, that's all that matters. So thank you very much and I'll see you next time. Before I go, I wanted to give a huge, massive, heartfelt congratulations to Charlotte and Ollie, who have had another baby today. And I just think, yeah, it's just lovely. It's just lovely. And yeah, congratulations. Huge, massive, huge, huge congratulations. Yes.